Like, dude, like literally when I was like getting on Fruity Loops about a year to 2 years in, like my junior year, I was trying to make musique concrete on a fucking DAW, on fucking Fruity Loops.
That's a quote right there.
And all my homies were just wanting to rap.
Right.
Like everybody was trying to rap. We were rapping back then and shit. Everybody just wanted to rap. They're like, Mike, you need to just make a beat. We just need a beat. I couldn't do that. Like it was so hard. It took me until like college to really understand how to make a fucking good beat. Like, like before that, I was just making like really experimental fucking shit.
Right.
And I lost all of it because of like watching too much porn and getting a virus. I had like 500. I had like 500 songs in high school. It was amazing.
Damn, the real
And I've
shit.
only been able to recover like maybe 100 of them because like I had to like restore the laptop.
You mean you made 500 songs?
I had like 500 tracks in high school, bro. It was crazy.
Dude, fuck you. You should have never been watching damn Pornhub. Goddamn motherfucker.
It wasn't Pornhub back then. It was probably like XNXX and then and torrent. And that's when uTorrent was amazing. And you could just download like Fatty Girls.
We're getting into some
you could download like Fatty Girls 6 and like full porn movies. But you were downloading you were also downloading viruses. uTorrent was terrible. Like
I mean, why would you download that though? Why don't you just watch on the Flash?
Yo, you gotta archive it. You gotta have it for those moments. Well, yo, I was bad. I was a virgin all of high school. I wasn't really the most like
same. Right
like
here.
yeah, we had the similar stories where it's like I wasn't really like socially like adept or like I wasn't really into. I had this whole weird thing about discipline and like discipline of my eros and shit. So I was like, I had like some like hookups and shit, but I never had sex in high school. Like,
do you think that like you bring like a sexual energy to like the music you make, and is there like a discipline there too?
Do I bring a sexual energy to it? I mean,
I'm saying
like, I do bring.
You are bringing a sexual energy.
No, I think a lot of it. I think a lot of it has to do with. I think a lot of it has to do with like, I was really. It was like this weird thing that I was like really, and I think it had to do with, probably hearing my mom have sex like way too young, or
Lord.
Yeah, we're getting the real shit here. TMI, motherfuckers. You're in the fucking interview with Mike Holmes, Nostalgianoid. You're learning about my life. God damn it.
Hey, what's up? I'm over here.
No, but like, everybody hears their parents have sex and shit, but it was like, I just learned of like all the promiscuous things that were human that my mom was doing.
Right.
Pretty,
so it was like
at a pretty
young age.
So it was like, but like I realized that I was like, for me, it was like I wanted to like tone all that down.
Okay.
Like, and like also I was probably afraid of my like bisexuality and like my attraction to men. So I was like really fucking like just bearing down a lot of my like my sexuality, and a lot of it does definitely come out through music. I can definitely, and I can think of like there's some tracks from like 2013, and when I hooked up with my homie like Javon Darity, and we were making music together like as Neil Javon. A lot of that shit is hella sexual. It was just so fucking sexual, but it's like really good. It's not like overt or anything. It's not like we're just like
you're not sampling porn. Yeah, that's
like
what I was
we
gonna
did,
say.
but it wasn't like it was like it was tasteful.
It was tasteful. I mean,
that
that's what
track never got released. We had we tried to we sampled the Kim K sex tape. It didn't. I actually didn't master that one well. It was like I mastered it terribly. It was a song that never really. There was probably some other shit we sampled like that. Like, because Javon was always like, yo, we need to sample from porn tracks or like the music in porn. Like, because a lot of times music in porn is actually really dope and really good to sample from.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, but that's because like in art, in the head of someone, because it's like, it's interesting. I've learned through doing electronic music and also playing drums and shit in different groups, be it free jazz or indie or fucking, metal, is that the vocabulary that we use as electronic musicians, and especially electronic musicians who are more geared or more keen towards sampling, we hear shit in everything, dude. And so Star Wars. Like we hear shit and everything, so it's like it's really hard to like find the line of what's like acceptable or not, because like there's like this whole thing right now that's trending in like the hip hop culture of like this guy like samples some Kirk Franklin, and like people are like, no, that's wrong, because you know Kirk Franklin's like one of the greatest gospel singers of all time, and this dude's making a song about making it like rain about like wet ass pussy or some shit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And like, you know, like everybody's like, this is so wrong, like you're going to hell for this shit, but it's like, yo, that sample is fire. Right. It's like the promiscuity and the provocativeness, the provocation that it incites is what makes it hot. You know what I mean? That's what happens a lot of times. Like, I didn't know anything that Spaceman Jones or Big Dave was doing out in Burton Street, or like what was going on in West Asheville years before I was when I was a fucking jit. Like,
and a jit? What is
a jit? A jit's like ask your mom when you go back down to Florida.
Like an idiot?
No, it's like a Florida. It's like a term for like a young person.
Hold on,
like
I can Google that real quick.
It's a term for a young person. It's like a jit. You're gonna Google that?
Yeah, you got the Wi-Fi password. Can you put it on there for me?
I think this is it.
Oh, thank you. All right, yeah. So